Shalom, Barry Gurtler, Har-Tuv, economist and mortgage consultant.
Hi, Yoni.
So we heard yesterday that the Bank of Israel is raising the interest rates. Where's that coming from? Is this part of a process?
Yes, the Bank of Israel, while raising the rates, has announced that their ultimate goal is to raise the rates to approximately 1.5, 1.6. Mm-hmm. I got to say that as dramatic as this announcement, we've been waiting for this announcement for a very long time, specifically the last few months. So the whole market has already been expecting it, and therefore there's been very little effect to that announcement.
Now, how does this affect the Israeli population? First of all, of course, in terms of people who bought apartments, homes, and have mortgage.
Well, the main effect, as you mentioned, is for people who own mortgages in Israel. And the effect is going to be noticed starting tomorrow. People who have a mortgage of 1 million shekels, give or take, are going to start paying about 50 shekels more per month. Mm-hmm. But this is the effect of this increase. The total increase, which we're expecting over the course of the next year, is going to be 200-300 shekels for a mortgage of 1 million shekels.
Do you think that people will keep their money in the banks, like for the positive side of this interest rate, or that doesn't affect enough?
So deposits that have been gaining interest are also going to gain more, but frankly, they've been gaining practically zero, and even after all those increases, the expected increases, you will still be gaining practically zero. The absolute clear recommendation is don't leave your money at the bank. Invest your money somewhere else because, again, even after all the expected wave of increases, you will still be gaining very little.
Now, this whole thing is part of a process, and is Israel going in a positive way in terms of economy? We also heard yesterday that the economy is in growth.
Yes, the economy is in growth. We do see a wave of inflation coming from the United States and from Europe. The fact that the Bank of Israel is able to increase interest rates in such a way is a testimony of the strength of the Israeli economy. It means that the Bank of Israel is, first thing, they understand what's going on in the world, but it also means that they are not concerned of a wave of unemployment, a wave of foreclosures, because they see that the Israeli economy is in a very good place compared to the world, and that we have a very good future in the next couple of years.
This is all happening in wake of COVID-19. How do you and other economists explain the success in wake of this big challenge?
So the success is obviously relative. Probably would have been in a much better position compared to Israel without COVID. Baruch Hashem, the state of Israel, the government of Israel, both in the previous administration and in the current administration, have dealt pretty well with COVID, both in managing the quarantine and not quarantine, the vaccination process. And also, a lot of the Israeli economy is focused on services and high-tech. And these are professions and incomes that are not severely affected by quarantines, by COVID, which means that the Israeli market was able to continue to operate even through the harshest waves of COVID.
Okay, Barry Gurtler, Har-Tuv, economist and mortgage consultant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yoni.